أيا طالب العلم قم لا تنم فإن الزمان أيا طالب العلم قم لا تنم فإن الزمان انقضى وانصرم فكن ما حييت ضنينا به فظنك
What we want to do today, which is we're starting with Revelation, and then we will be going on with Declaration of Prophethood. Oh, what? I think that's now. Let's see. What is Revelation? Revelation is what we are familiar with, like Bawahi, for something to be revealed to you. That is what Revelation means. So, in a simple language, then we will not be going deeper than this. So we said Revelation is the communication between Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, like Allah sending a message to you, divine message, or having a divine knowledge. This is what we mean by revelation. We can say divine guidance also. Now we take some moods, and then we have to understand from the moods. It's not like, okay, Allah will be communicating with you directly. So it takes some mood. So the one of the first mood that it takes is the dream. The dream, it takes dreams. So unlike human, I mean we human like this, all prophets dream, they are true. The prophets dream, they are true, and it's a form of revelation for them. The very one we are familiar with is the dream of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, when he said in Surah Safat, Subhanallah. Please, who can remind me of that verse in Surah Safat? Inni ara fil manami yanam. قل يا بني إني أرى في المنام أني أصبحتك فانظر ماذا ترى. So when he said that he saw himself slaughtering the child, which is Prophet Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam, and then the child is proven to be a good son, unlike myself. Okay, now we said Prophet's dream, they are true. The Prophet Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam also, he dreamed the stars and the moon and the sun that are pointing to him. So we know that it is dreams of prophet. And then we said dreams of prophet, they are true. So there are some other there are people that study dreams of prophet, and a lot of hadiths about them, and then it has some things that Prophet Muhammad said. So this is a serial class, so we keep to the serial. Prophet Muhammad also, as a prophet, his dreams are true, and then Allah uses dreams to communicate to prophets, unlike our dreams are not a form of revelation to us. So we said the second mode by which revelation is done is by ilham. So ilham, this is inspiration, like Allah inspires the prophet. So Allah inspires people, and not just prophet alone. Allah said in the Quran that like وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَىٰ أُمِّ مُوسَىٰ نَعْمَ. So Allah inspires people like the mother of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam to put Musa in the box and then put it all stories we understand down. So this is ilham. This is a form of revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this can happen to human also, and this can happen to prophet. So Allah sent revelation to prophets through the angel. So through the angel, and then we go of all prophets that they are sent angel go to them, most especially Prophet Muhammad sallallahu like we said last week. So some people that were not prophets also, they get the revelation, like the mother of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam has said in Surah Al-Maryam that angel Jibril appeared to her, and then we should know something about prophets, about the angels. The angels, they take two forms. They can either appear in the form of angel, or they appear in the form of man. So they take a form of a particular person and then they appear. So the one we should be very, very familiar with is in the Seerah of Prophet Muhammad. When Prophet Muhammad goes to Medina, if angel Jibril wants to appear to him, he will go in form of a Sahabi, and the Sahabi is described to be one of the most handsome Sahaba. His name is Dihya al-Kalbi. So if Muhammad sallallahu is to appear to the Prophet in form of human, is going to take the form of Dihya al-Kalbi. So he takes the form of Dihya to appear to them, and then some of the Sahabas, they seem in this form, and then we know this hadith number 12 and Nawawi and the like. So We have that's meaning that if angel is to appear, it's going to take two forms. You can either take the full angel form, and Prophet ﷺ described Jubril, that he saw him in his full form, and then he has 600 wings, and then all the description, like it covered this lot part. So all the descriptions were made of angel Jubril by Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So we have direct communication also. Allah communicating to a prophet directly. So when Allah can communicate to prophet directly, and it to be a form of revelation, like we know Allah communicated to Prophet Musa alayhi salatu wasalam in Turi Sinai. So Allah communicated to him directly. And then the highest form of revelation was the one given to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And I don't know if there's anyone that can hint me with that. The highest form of revelation given to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So let me just continue. It says it is when during Isra al Miraj that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam him, and then he spoke to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam physically. But Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not see Allah. When Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asked, when he came back, when he was asked, like, did you see Allah? He said, I only see light. He said, I only see light, meaning that he saw the hijab of Allah. The hijab of Allah is light. The hijab, meaning the covering, not hijab, sisters, meaning the covering, is it covering like veil, something like gaga? I think that Yoruba best explain is like there's a blockage, like a veil between him and Allah, and then the veil is light. So he said it can only see light. Now, we are going into, that was about the revelation, and then I want us to pick our understanding. Now, do we all have notes? Please, if you have notes, let me see you. Let me see people who are actually with notes. Just reply that you have notes in the comment section, so we know people who are actually going on with us. So now, we said declaration of prophethood. Now, we should understand this. We are going to be, nobody is responding. What is happening? I said, if you have notes with you, let me know, please. Okay, now, so please pick your point, because once we start mentioning some things, we do not want us to, like, what said it last week, that now that the prophethood has started, everything that we mentioned, every name that comes to our class is a case study on their own, whether the person is a believer or a non-believer. Everybody we mention is a case study on their own. So I know we are making some short points about them. We should take note of them, and then as Muslims, the one that are inclining to us, we want us to pick the form. So pick your pen and don't sleep, please. So now, after the revelation started, we said Prophet Muhammad he became the prophet as the revelation of Surah Al-Alaq, and he became messenger, the revelation of Surah Al-Mudaththir, as we explained last week. Now, for the next 3 years, he started the dawah. Like between that time and the next 3 years, he started the dawah. But the dawah was not public. We should know this. The dawah is not public, unlike the rough image we have in our head that, okay, started dawah and then we think everything goes like that. No, the dawah was not public. There was no opposition from Quraysh, because he was not speaking to them. He was not going to Kaaba to address them. He's just preaching to those who were close to him. His family, Khadija. This was the time that Khadija was accepting Islam. We know Abu Bakr, all those people. This was the time that they were accepting Islam. Between the first 3 years of prophethood, started dawah. There was no opposition. He was preaching to his family alone, and then all this they are regarded to as private dawah. So we want us to get it right. And then there's this misconception that we do when those that understand, they might say it is secret. No, it is not secret. People know that there's a new theology that is being preached around, and then since it was not confronted to them, like it was not made to them, they know that someone is doing something that is new, has brought a new idea to them. But Prophet Muhammad is not preaching to them, so they let him be. So they did not. There was no opposition from them, nothing like stoning, nothing like persecution. So in this early stage, now we are going to use this short to go over some people, about 10 people that accepted Islam within this stage. and then I want us to get them rightly. We know that they are very, very important for them to be accepting Islam in this very, very, and anybody we mention today, they should not be a name that after today we'll say that we are not familiar with them again. We show that they are very, very important. And then if we mention them again in the course of the Seerah, with no, who is this one? How did they come in? No, no, no. We want them to understand. Others that might not be mentioned, it is still understandable. Though some of those that are very, very popular that will not be mentioned today, like Umar ibn Khattab, there's no one that does not know Umar ibn Khattab. But we know that the acceptance of Umar ibn Khattab was not early. So, and then we will get to that inshallah whenever we get there. So, he said the first convert, as we ended last week, was Khadija. Khadija ibn bint Huwaylid, the wife of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. She was the first person to accept Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam without declaration self. My wife, like I think we explained last week, like when Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam went to her, he was the one praising Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allah will not forsake you. Allah is not going to punish you. You are good to your neighbor. Because when Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he saw the angel, he was shivering. He was even running home, like, what is this? So all those ones were explained. So the second person, most of us, we do not regard him, and I've mentioned it last week, is Waraka. Waraka ibn Nawfal. He was the second person to accept Islam. Most of the books that we have do not put him down, but some of the books recognize him, and then they say Waraka. How? Because why is it that they did not recognize him? It was very shortly after this happened was when Morocco died. And then you know that there was no declaration of La ilaha illallah, and then before this time. But Morocco believed in Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And when Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was asked about the status of Morocco, Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said he is in Al-Jannah. So he described him in Al-Jannah. So meaning that he accepted Islam. So we should regard Morocco as the second person. The third person, as we all know, we always regard him as the first person, and it is fair to regard him as the first person because of the impact that he made in Islam. And I want to enjoin us at the same time promise us that there are a lot of things that we do not know about him, that eventually when we get to know them, and depending on our response, we're going to make some explanation that is going to be at first shocking, but at the same time it is going to be a form of convincing, because we are talking of Ali ibn Abi Talib. We should know that there is a complete failure, like a complete division from the Muslim that believed in Ali, and they take him beyond, they praise him beyond how he is praised because of what he did, actually, because of what he did. And some bros, we've heard of what Shia mean. So we do not have Shia around, but depending on how we go, whether we are going, if we are going to go into the explanation, then I find it worthy, because when you know about some things, you know to avoid some people. When you don't know, you can fall into some things, and then may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our journey. We do not have that kind of, because most of us will be moving outside the country, and then we might see ourselves falling into the praise of Shia. But if you know about them, you know how to guide yourself against them. So now we said that Ali ibn Abi Talib is the third person to accept Islam. He was a child around 10 years this time. Ali ibn Abi Talib has been raised in Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam house. He was raised by Khadija and Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is like a father figure to Ali. Now we should get it right. We should not, like, age-wise, they are not the same. When Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu was 40, preaching the message, Ali was 9 years or 10 years there. So the same relationship between Abu Talib and Ali is the same relationship between Ali and Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu. So Abu Talib is like a father figure to Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu, and Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu is like a father figure to Ali. So we want us to be getting this thing right. Ali grew up in Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu household. Why? Abu Talib was so broke. Abu Talib is a poor man, though very prestigious. Everybody knows him. He was the one that took over there after Abdul Muttalib. So he's the new Banu Hashim leader. Abu Talib is the new Banu Hashim leader, and then he's not a rich man. So Prophet Muhammad supported him by raising one of his kids. So he has other kids like Akil, Talib, Akil, Ja'far, Ali, and then maybe two other sisters, two other ladies. a bit to other women then. So, and that's about Ali ibn Abi Talib. He did accept Islam. He said one day that he walked into Prophet Muhammad sallallahu and Khadija's house, and then he saw them praying, and then he's like, "What are you doing?" Like he asked them as a child, like, "What are you doing?" So Prophet sallallahu told him about what he's doing, like he's now practicing a new religion, and then he said. Prophet invited him to Islam. He said he's going to think about it. So he slept over. The next day, he told his father, and then the father said, like there are two narrations. Like the father said, "Don't worry, like follow Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We will never misguide you." And there was another story narrated that Abu Talib saw Ali, Khadija, and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam praying behind a rock one day like that. So he saw the three of them praying, and he asked the three of them, "What are you doing?" So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam now told Abu Talib that we are practicing the religion of Prophet Ibrahim. So Ali, Abu Talib now told his son, like Ali, like follow Abu Talib, literally the father of Ali. So he told Ali to follow Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that we know him to be a trustworthy person and he will not misguide you. So Abu Talib recognized Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam as the messenger, but unfortunately he did not accept Islam, and we are going to be coming to what he did to Islam, his support to Islam very shortly. If not today, maybe next class, inshallah. So that was Ali ibn Abi Talib. So Ali ibn Abi Talib being the third person accepted Islam. I want us to get the number right, and the number of the number of those that I mentioned today will be asked. And if you miss the number, I know that you are not taking it down. So I've mentioned 3 people now. If you are not writing, you have to catch up now. So now, next person, I will not be mentioning the number, inshallah. So the next person after is Zayd ibn Haritha, and Zayd ibn Haritha, we went over his life last week. So about briefly, not in details like that, but briefly, we went over him, and then we said he's the adopted son of the Prophet. He was a slave before he was freed, and then he became the adopted son of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So obviously, he accepted Islam after this, like being in the household also as the adopted son of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He accepted Islam also. Now, the next person after this is who we know, that is Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr. So we should know, before I go into what we can say about Abu Bakr, we see that we have about 5 people like this that we mentioned, and then all of them in different narrations, they take first position. This has been explained last week, but this is the best time to re-say it and then we get it for the last time. It is said that Khadija ibn Khuwaylid, the revolution that they made around this is that Khadija bint Khuwaylid is the first woman to accept Islam. Waraqah ibn Nawfal, because it's very old, is the first old man to accept Islam. Ali ibn Abi Talib is the first child to accept Islam. Zayd ibn Harisa is the first slave to accept Islam. And Abu Bakr is the first free man to accept Islam. So we get this resolution, and then for the last time that we are going to be explaining it, the next that we are going to be saying the question. So we can question also the first slave. We do not want us to be mixing it all together. So all these people's status are explained, and I believe we can get the picture well now. Now, we said Abu Bakr. Who is Abu Bakr? Abu Bakr is that famous person that there's no Muslim that does not know about him. Abu Bakr, Abu Bakr, Abu Bakr. I think sometimes people know Umar more than Abu Bakr is, because Umar is so great, and all of these people they are very great. So Abu Bakr is that particular person that there's no Muslim that doesn't know about him. How is he not known? He's just there with the Prophet every time, second with the Prophet every time, and anything that Prophet Muhammad does, you always see Abu Bakr with him. Abu Bakr, Abu Bakr, Abu Bakr. Now, how did Abu Bakr accept Islam? The story is not well narrated like that, but what we know about Abu Bakr is that he was a businessman, like a very honest man, a very noble man that everybody knows. He's well respected. I think it's from Banu Adi also. I did not put that down. So he's a well-known man, he's a well-respected man. And Prophet Muhammad said, not Prophet Muhammad, he is known for his knowledge in history. We studied it in the earlier classes that Arab, they take pride in their genealogy. And then Abu Bakr is known for this. That when Prophet Muhammad started dawah, is public dawah, general public dawah. You know, we are talking about private dawah now. When it started about general public dawah, and then some people have to come to him, or people come to church. So Abu Bakr will be the one identifying them for the Prophet Muhammad, like these people are from this tribe. Let's go to them. Let's talk to them if they will accept Islam. So this Abu Bakr is that is that person that does it for prophets. So Abu Bakr is the one. He has been the prophet from the beginning of the dawah and to the end. Abu Bakr is that person that is with the prophet. Everything Prophet Muhammad ﷺ does, he will always be with them. So Abu Bakr accepted Islam without hesitation, and this is a statement made by Prophet Muhammad ﷺ during the Medina period. There was a type of let's say little misunderstanding between the Sahabas, and then Abu Bakr was not favored. So Abu Bakr went to Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and Abu Bakr went to Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So when Abu Bakr went, like he was not happy, the faith was not happy. Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told the Sahabas that, who among you has made my companion to be sad? Because when all of you, when I came, like Prophet Muhammad said, it's based on that, there was no one among you that I preached the dawah to when it started on that does not have a little station in his mind, etc. Abu Bakr. But Muhammad was testifying to the Iman of Abu Bakr, like it was from earlier on. The time that Prophet preached to him, he had no hesitation about Islam, and then he accepted directly. So we see Abu Bakr as this person. And then when we go into details about Abu Bakr, we see about his life. He was the one that Jahili practice was never into him like that. They are pagans actually, but he was not the pagans that was all these ignoble pagan, the one that takes alcohol. He doesn't do all these things. So from Islam, he was a very noble man, and then he says, you won't complain about people that drink alcohol. What do you take from things that you do, and then you start regretting what you did for taking it? So Abu Bakr is this type of person. So we said that he accepted Islam without hesitation. Prophet Muhammad said, and I want us to get this thing clearly. He said, if not that Allah has taken me as Khalil, I will have called Abu Bakr my Khalil. Meaning Khalil is best friend, what we call Riayu in Islam. So Prophet Muhammad said, had Allah not taken me as Khalil, meaning that Allah has taken me as best friend. And you know, best friend, you cannot take another best friend, you cannot welcome third party inside. He said, if Allah has not taken me as Khalil, I will have taken Abu Bakr as Khalil. So we should know this status of Abu Bakr, that he is discreet. Now, Abu Bakr, he has one honor. He has one honor that for life we are going to be mentioning him. Now, I want us to say this thing. We said it earlier in the class that we want us to be getting the Seerah, and then whenever we read the Quran, any points that I mentioned, we want us to be interpreting it and be getting it rightly. Now, I want to mention this as an example for us. When I got to, let's say, second level of learning the Seerah, maybe it was in Sani, Tamhidi or so. So this story was mentioned to me, and wallahi, I did not even know that it existed in the Quran. I did not know that it existed in the Quran. Though it's very possible that some of us knows about this particular verse in Surah Tawbah, in verse 40, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referenced that Abu Bakr was in the cave. And I'm talking about maybe just 5-6 years ago. I did not even know that it existed in the Quran. I did not even know. Like, more, I've read the verse, but I did not even know it was talking about this thing. And these are things that I want us to do. If you come across this verse, and what our Ustaz did for us then, that he made us memorize it. So he said I should go and memorize that verse. So the verses, Illa tansuruhu faqad nasarahu Allah. Allah was saying in the Quran, Illa tansuruhu faqad nasarahu Allah. If you will not help him, if you will not help Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah has definitely helped him. So Allah was making reference. Allah is an example that إلا تنصروه فقد نصره الله إذ أخرجه الذين كفروا ثاني اثنين إذ هما في الغار. Allah was making reference to when Abu Bakr and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam were in the cave. We are all familiar with this story that when the Quraysh they started chasing them, and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Abu Bakr, they had to hide in the cave. So Allah was making reference to them, like I was the one with them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called Prophet Muhammad, Abu Bakr. You know, we said last week, Allah addressed Zayd. He mentioned Zayd by name. Allah has addressed Abu Bakr with a pronoun, calling him second of two. Like Allah is saying that Allah is saying that he is the second of two. Who are the two? These are Prophet Muhammad and Abu Bakr. So we can see that this is one of the greatest honor that Allah is referencing to this particular person we are talking about till the end of time. From that time till the end of time, he will be mentioned, and his name will be in the Quran. He's not a messenger. Like, we should see this as a great honor. There are some people that Allah has mentioned them negatively in the Quran, like Abu Lahab, like Fir'aun and the likes. Till the day of judgment, they will be mentioned in this manner. What they cause, what they do to cause people. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned to people in the Quran that they will be praised till the day of judgment. And every Muslim within the Quran, every Muslim within the Quran will continue to be praising this people. So this is Abu Bakr for us. I want us to understand Abu Bakr in this image. And if I can see someone that will promise me to mention, to memorize Surah At-Tawbah, verse 40 before the next class, Tuesday, I'll personally give to the person, inshallah. So that's that particular verse is about 6 lines. So I challenge anyone that will memorize that. And once the person does, let the person reach out to me. I don't even need to verify. I'll give to the person myself. Now, that's Abu Bakr. And the last thing that I want to mention about him for now is that Abu Bakr has been honored by Allah to be the one that took over after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is our Khalifa. He is our Khalifa. And I have to be frank with us here. When we mention Khalifa in Islam, we do not even know what it means, because we are 1,400 years after what Khalifa means. We do not even know what Khalifa means. Khalifa is the one that took over after the Prophet. Abu Bakr was this person that took over after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because Islam is no more using Khalifa now, we do not even know the implication of having a Khalifa. Now, if you follow us in this, if you keep up with us in this, so you will get to know it, inshallah. As in, we hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us to that time, that we get to that level of explaining what Khalifa means, who are those who are our Khalifa. So we know that we have 4, but I promise us we don't have 4. Khalifa that we have in Islam is more than 100. So now,